Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, The Glammed Rebel. I hope everyone's having a good day. Please like, comment, and subscribe for daily updates. Remembering bold and beautiful Phyllis Diller, a tribute on the anniversary of her passing. Phyllis Diller had the unique ability to outshine Darlene Conley. Phyllis Diller was one of those rare stars whose presence lit up every stage, every television screen, and every soap opera cameo she graced. On August 20th, 2012, the world said goodbye to the comedy trailblazer, who passed away at the age of 95 due to congestive heart failure. 13 years later, fans of the bold and the beautiful and admirers of Diller's legendary career continue to celebrate her life, her humor, and her unforgettable appearances on the CBS soap opera. In the tapestry of B&B's glamorous and dramatic world, Phyllis Diller's character, Gladys Pope, became a sparkling thread of joy, chaos, and hilarity. Although she wasn't a full-time cast member, her recurring role between 1996 and 2012 turned her into one of the most memorable guest stars in the show's long history. With her over-the-top style, impeccable comedic timing, and warm eccentricity, Diller made Gladys Pope an iconic figure in her own right. This retrospective honors Phyllis Diller's incredible journey, her groundbreaking comedy, and her unique place in the bold and the beautiful family. A comedy pioneer before daytime drama. Before stepping into the fictional world of Forrester creations, Phyllis Diller had already carved out an indelible legacy, breaking barriers in stand-up. Diller began her career in the 1950s, at a time when stand-up comedy was largely a male-dominated arena. With her eccentric costumes, self-deprecating humor, and outrageous laughter, she was one of the very first female comedians to gain mainstream success. She defied expectations, demonstrating that women could not only compete on stage, but also take control of the comedy circuit. Her act often revolved around domestic frustrations. Her husband, Fong, a fictional creation who became infamous through her jokes, and the absurdities of everyday life. She exaggerated her looks, joking about wild wigs, garish outfits, and her supposed inability to cook. Instead of aspiring to Hollywood glamour, Diller leaned into her eccentricity, creating a persona that audiences adored. Television and film success. By the 1960s and 70s, Phyllis Diller was a household name. She appeared in television specials, guest starred on shows like Laugh-In and The Muppet Show, and made film appearances. She also had her own sitcom, The Pruitts of Southampton, later retitled The Phyllis Diller Show. Her humor wasn't just about laughter, it was also revolutionary. She opened doors for comedians like Joan Rivers, Roseanne Barr, and countless others who followed in her footsteps. From comedy clubs to soap operas, enter Gladys Pope, a surprise addition to The Bold and the Beautiful. When Phyllis Diller debuted on The Bold and the Beautiful in 1996, fans didn't quite know what to expect. Could the legendary comedian fit into the glamorous, melodramatic soap world? The answer was an emphatic yes. Her character, Gladys Pope, was introduced as a beautician. In her first major storyline, she was hired to deglamorize Taylor Hayes, so Ridge Forrester wouldn't recognize her during one of the show's classic mistaken identity twists. Gladys was eccentric, kooky, and wildly enthusiastic, qualities Diller naturally embodied. Gladys and Sally, a legendary duo. It didn't take long before Gladys was paired with one of the soap's most flamboyant characters, Sally Spectra, played by the equally legendary Darlene Conley. Together, Gladys and Sally became a comedic powerhouse. Makeover mishaps. Gladys often styled, disguised, or transformed characters with her makeup skills, sometimes to hide them, sometimes to trick others. Schemes and shenanigans. Alongside Sally, she embarked on wild, over-the-top adventures that lightened the otherwise heavy drama of Forrester rivalries. Massimo transformation. Perhaps Gladys' crowning comedic moment came when she disguised Sally as businessman Massimo Marone, a hilarious sequence that showcased Diller's comedic genius and Conley's fearless acting. The chemistry between Diller and Conley was undeniable. Their scenes together often felt like a different genre, a madcap sitcom inserted into a soap opera. Viewers loved the reprieve, and the friendship between Gladys and Sally became a fan favorite. Phyllis Diller's signature style in B&B, a burst of humor in high drama. What made Diller's appearances so effective was the contrast. While Ridge, Brooke, Taylor, and Stephanie were embroiled in high-stakes, romantic entanglements, Gladys breezed in with wild hair, outlandish outfits, and punchlines that undercut the tension. Gladys reminded viewers that the bold and the beautiful, despite its glamour and drama, also had a sense of fun. A character with heart, Gladys provided more than just light-hearted entertainment. Beneath the wigs and one-liners, she had warmth. She cared about Sally. She supported the Forresters in her own chaotic way, and she often acted as a confidant, even if her advice was more entertaining than useful. In this sense, Gladys reflected Phyllis Diller herself, a woman who made millions laugh, but also carried genuine compassion and insight. The final curtain, Diller's last appearance. Shrubs, Odd Jobs, and a Wedding Offer. In 2012, just months before her passing, Phyllis Diller made her final appearance as Gladys Pope. At this juncture, Gladys Pope's character was facing financial difficulties. Despite her brilliance with makeup and beauty, Gladys had been reduced to doing odd jobs. One of her last scenes showed her trimming the Forrester family shrubbery, an ironic, bittersweet moment that echoed the reality of aging in show business. But true to form, Gladys wasn't defeated. She cheerfully volunteered to officiate Eric and Stephanie's remarriage, revealing she had obtained a license to perform weddings. This final appearance was a love letter to longtime fans. Before Carter Walton became the go-to wedding officiant, Gladys had stepped in, showing that even at the end, she still had her own unique role to play. A goodbye without knowing it. No one knew it would be her last performance. Yet in hindsight, it feels fitting. Diller's final B&B scenes encapsulated her essence. Eccentric, humorous, and heartfelt. The world reacts to her passing. When Phyllis Diller died on August 20th, 2012, tributes poured in from across Hollywood and beyond. Comedians and actors hailed her as a trailblazer. Joan Rivers famously said that without Diller, there would be no her. Fans of B&B mourned not just the comedy legend, but also Gladys Pope, a character who had brought laughter and joy to the soap world. The global audience remembered her cackle, a sound so distinctive it could travel across oceans. Her passing was not just the end of a career, it was the closing chapter of an era in entertainment. Why Phyllis Diller still matters in 2025. Comedy's grandmother figure. Even today, comedians cite Diller as an influence. She proved that women could be outrageous, unglamorous, and hilarious without apology. She wasn't afraid to poke fun at herself. And in doing so, she dismantled stereotypes about femininity and comedy. A soap legacy unlike any other. On the bold and the beautiful, she left behind a legacy of laughter. In a show known for heartbreak, betrayal, and high fashion, Gladys Pope reminded viewers that soap operas could also be downright fun. Her friendship with Sally Spectra remains one of the most beloved comedic duos in soap history. For longtime fans, revisiting those scenes is like reconnecting with old friends, a lesson in longevity. Phyllis Diller worked well into her 90s. She demonstrated that age doesn't have to mean fading away. It can mean finding new ways to shine. Whether trimming shrubs or officiating weddings, her characters, like her real self, never stopped contributing. Memorable moments worth revisiting. For fans who want to relive Diller's time on B&B, these stand out. 1. Disguising Taylor Hayes, proving she could make a beautiful woman look unrecognizable. 2. Sally's portrayal of Massimo Marone, a masterful display of disguise and impersonation. 3. The wedding officiant, Gladys stepping in to marry Eric and Stephanie, a moment that blended humor with genuine heart. 4. Her final appearance, Gladys trimming shrubs, still cheerful, still Gladys to the very end. Conclusion: a legacy of laughter. Phyllis Diller may be gone, but her spirit lingers in every laugh track, every stand-up stage, and every rerun of The Bold and the Beautiful, where Gladys Pope brings her unique brand of chaos. She wasn't just a guest star. She was a burst of joy who reminded viewers that soap operas could be just as funny as they were dramatic. On the anniversary of her passing, remembering Diller is more than nostalgia. It's a celebration of a woman who broke barriers, entertained millions, and left behind a legacy that will never fade. From her groundbreaking comedy routines to her unforgettable soap opera antics, Phyllis Diller remains a true original. And as long as fans recall the sound of her unmistakable laugh, she'll never really be gone. You are welcome to share any video requests in the comments. I will make a video about it. Stay connected with the Glammed Rebel for all the latest updates, spoilers, and deep dive recaps. See you in the next video. Stay safe and healthy. May God protect you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell button for daily updates.